All right, says we live. Victor and Bab Adatiba, brothers in tech. Sometimes it's said that we are the same person, but I think we're putting those rumors to bed right now. Victor Adatiba with Master Tech Training Academy. We're here. We're starting a new series called 99 Non-Coding Tech Jobs with Victor and Bab. And as we were making preparations to begin this new series, we get a lot of people who come to us asking about transitioning to a career in technology, but not necessarily being technical, not necessarily wanting to know how to code, not knowing, Java or PHP, HTML, Python, React, whatever. And so we always tell people, like, you don't necessarily have to be extremely technical to get into technology. There are plenty of non-coding tech jobs in tech. And so in the midst of us creating this series and showing you guys or telling you guys about 99 non-coding tech jobs, who else but your favorite president, 47, Donald Trump, made an announcement last night. And so I'll go ahead and toss it over to Bab, and then we'll kind of get into breaking down our key takeaways from his announcement. What's up, Bab?
Hey, what's up, man? So we're not the same people. Uh, some of you know me by your tech homeboy, but I actually have a real name. So, yeah, man, there's so many roles in the tech industry that do not require coding, and we're gonna bust y'all over the head with so many episodes coming up for 2025. But today we're mainly talking about the announcement from President Trump to support a AI venture that was actually put into the works last year, about March. Um, so this is like something called Stargate. So now, when you look up Stargate, you're probably going to see like the movie Stargate and the TV series Stargate, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what does this have to do with Trump? Like, I know Trump is taking us back, but how far back is he taking us to ancient times, Stargate? But no, the actual name of the AI venture is Stargate, y'all. So um, we got a couple people rolling in, a couple people messaging me. So we're gonna give
They
people
said they
about
see
30
us.
seconds.
They can
They
see
say they
us.
see us, man. So we're gonna give them. We're gonna give the people like 30 seconds to roll in,
Okay,
and
cool.
as we prep for this. So make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. So you know, AI. What is AI to you, Victor? When you hear that word?
Well, AI is artificial intelligence. I guess the extended version, and if you want to add a little bit additional detail to it, AIML, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence. And so, um, basically, I think at a high level, what that means is we're training computers or systems or algorithms to learn based on the data that we give them, right? So they learn more and can make decisions and predictions based off of the data that we give them. And so, um, there are a lot of people who are scared of AI. They believe it may take their job. It may displace them. It may, you know, cause massive amounts of people to become unemployed. And that is partially correct, right? I don't think there's a reason to be scared of AI. I think there's incentive for us to learn AI because what AI essentially has the ability to do is make one person more productive. And so, what it used to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to do, you'll potentially now be able to have 1 or 2 people accomplish the same amount of work in a fraction of the time. And so there are a few case studies that I've kind of studied. And it's funny, based on the announcement that was made yesterday, but one of those case studies was, for example, like medical records. And so It would take one person, months or even years to go through thousands or millions of pages of medical records to
Hmm.
either document them, to catalog them, to attempt to predict or diagnose someone or a family based on their medical records, and with the correct LLM, which is a large language model, it could potentially um, read through the data. And I mean, literally, I think the case study I read was like over 1 million pages of medical records were reviewed, documented, studied, and a prediction was given in something like a few seconds, right? And so it's just like not possible from a human perspective to be able to compete with that. Now, where the human perspective comes in at is like, as of today, the machine doesn't know what data to look at, right? And so, from the human perspective, we have the ability to be um, extremely prescriptive in the information or the data we give the machine and the problems that we ask it to solve, right? Um, as of today, it doesn't necessarily know what problem it should solve or what data sets or where to go look for that data, or even like when it's hallucinating, which is a term in AI as well, when AI kind of like just makes up information or data, right? And so it always needs human intervention and human interaction to make sure that the AI model is being, one, trained properly, that we're testing what we're training it on, and that we're making sure that there aren't any hallucinations in the outputs that it's giving us.
Yeah, man. Sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge and a course to sell us.
No, just been studying, trying to learn and prepare for what I believe the next I don't know, golden age, if you want to call that, the next frontier,
Yeah,
we'll call it, of technology is going to be.
yeah, and that's actually the terminology that they used yesterday, golden age of America. And so
I wouldn't go that far.
apparently this,
I
yeah,
wouldn't say
that's just
golden
the
age of
language they use.
America, maybe technology,
Yeah,
but
hey, well, I guess they want the golden age of technology to be in America, or to jumpstart from America. So,
yeah.
guys, we got they're proposing to invest $500 billion in AI
Hold on,
infrastructure.
hold on. Invest what?
500 billion.
$1 billion with a B, not $1 million.
No, billion with a B.
Okay, I believe that's a
Billionaire
half a
dreams.
trillion,
That's
$500 billion,
half a
right?
trillion. Yeah,
Okay.
that's half a trillion. We ain't even use Chat GPT for that. It's half a trillion. Over the next 4 years, they say. Now they is SoftBank. That's a bank, obviously. The equity holders.
Hmm.
Oracle. Everybody should know Oracle.
Hmm.
And then who's the other company?
Larry Ellison, I
Oracle,
don't know if that was Microsoft
OpenAI.
specifically. OpenAI
It
too,
was it
yeah.
was OpenAI.
Hmm.
Yeah, Microsoft is a part of the deal, but he wasn't on stage with them.
Hmm.
It's actually funny. They were on X today. This thing is crazy. Elon Musk was on X saying that they don't have 500 billion. He was saying that he has proof that they only have like 80 billion. And so the OpenAI CEO
Brokies.
responded, right? The OpenAI responded. He's like, no, we definitely have 100 billion. Blah blah blah. So they're going back and forth.
Battle of the billionaires.
Battle of the billionaires, right? So they're like, this is not true. So, anyways, they're saying they're going to invest it, and they're saying that they already started it in Abilene, Texas, building out a data center, and this should fuel, um, AI infrastructure growth. If y'all recall, Joe Biden had to pass a CHIPS Act to help NVIDIA. I think it was
Nvidia.
NVIDIA,
Hmm.
Qualcomm, and like one or two other companies to help speed up the processing of speed up the manufacturing of the processing chips.
Hmm. Hmm.
So America is making a serious investment to have greater control of AI and not have to rely on other countries to develop some of these, what do you call them? CPUs, CPU processors,
CPUs, GPUs,
CPUs, GPUs, all this
data
technology,
warehouses. Yeah.
data warehouses, and we're building our infrastructure for data centers, cybersecurity, cloud, trying to take greater footprint in AI-driven healthcare. And
hmm
that was a lot of what the CEOs were talking about how this could detect, like we could talk about earlier, um, early detection of different diseases, different sicknesses, and specifically, the CEO was talking about detecting early detection of cancer. Um, so, besides the technological advancements and medical advancements, we're all about tech jobs here, finding tech jobs, gaining the skill, learning skills, going through boot camps, going through YouTube universities to get a tech job. That's what we're all about here.
hmm
So, like you said, you made a investment. America is making an investment. How can we help people make an investment?
Yeah, I mean, so there are a few ways that we can help people make an investment, right? But I want to go back to something that you said about, like early prediction of cancer, and then even like cancer treatment. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I heard the guy say that they was going to be looking for a cure to cancer, right?
Hmm.
Um, and this is on the and you know what we'll do, Bad? We'll link to that video that we watched of the White House announcement in the description below. So check us out on YouTube on scrumlife.com or your tech homeboy, right? We'll link it down below. Um, and so how can AI solve cancer, right? Or how can AI predict cancer? And so I just kind of want to give
Yeah,
you kind of high
let's go into
level,
that.
yeah, high level.
Not only cancer. Let's talk about AI's role in medical innovation overall.
Right. So, um, if you think about like, I'm just gonna make a couple of assumptions here, right? I think we've probably all heard of like Cancer Treatment Centers of America. And actually, I'll take a step back. We have, a close family friend whose mother was very recently diagnosed with cancer. Another close family friend whose um, mother just passed away from cancer. My father had a very minor bout with skin cancer that they were able to operate on and successfully remove. Um, we
We had
know,
another church member who passed away from throat cancer as
yeah,
well.
we know quite a few people,
Too many.
both on my side of the family and my wife's side of the family. I think everybody probably
And the
knows,
person, whoever's watching too.
yeah, knows people who have been affected by cancer in some way or another, right? And so I think Cancer Treatment Centers of America is probably one of the most popular medical organizations, facilities that has treated, um, maybe the most cases of cancer, right, in the world. And so imagine that they took the health or the medical records, I hopefully with consent, right? I don't know if they could make an executive order to just take people's medical records. Stranger things would have happened, but let's just say with consent, they were able to gain access to everybody who they've ever treated with cancer. And they're able to look at their health and medical records from birth all the way up until the point that they uh, were diagnosed with cancer. Let's just say there are 10 million records.
Hmm.
What AI could do is review those medical records and find the similarities, right? Find where there's overlap. So let's say um, they've got a million women who suffered from ovarian cancer. They could find whether it's the eating habits, uh, the weight, any anomalies in their annual exams, any anomalies from their X-rays, or if they had, CT scans or any type of scans through their history, um, anything that came back in their blood work, right? Literally any medicine that they had ever been prescribed and taken, right? They can literally look through every single piece of data that they've got on the medical records and potentially give us back an output and say, hey, we don't know if there's a direct link to this, but 70% of these women were prescribed this birth control medication
Yeah.
or prescribed this treatment or medicine after they had a child, right? Maybe during labor, these women were given this specific what's the thing called that they give the women for pain? The big needle they shoot them in their back
Mm,
during pregnancy. Sorry, man brain right now, but they were
yeah.
given this specific batch of medicine from this pharmaceutical company, or they were given this,
It can
whatever, right?
identify trends.
Right. It can identify trends and then can potentially give the researchers or the people who are asking AI to take a look at this data, give us a potential direction to look into and see, is there a direct link or cause between anything in their medical history and this potential cancer diagnosis, right? It could look
Yeah.
at cities and states that they lived in, where they worked, the type of work that they did, if they were in a high stress environment, if they ate a particular type of food, right? It could take all of these different type of data sets. And right now we're just talking about medical records, but depending on what other types of records we could give or would give the system access to, it could tell us, hey, if you're of this blood type and this age and you work at this particular type of company, you should not maybe live in this area, or you should not eat this type of food, or you have a higher propensity for being diagnosed with this particular type of sickness. And not just cancer, it could be diabetes, gout, high blood disease, liver disease, I
Yeah.
mean,
Sickle
sickle
cell,
cell, right?
leukemia.
Any of these different types of medical conditions that you have, it could potentially give you um, ways that you could try to avoid it and tell you that, yo, you're at extremely high risk. Like
Yeah.
there's a 90% chance that by this age, you're going to contract this sickness or this illness, right? And so what we can do
Okay.
now is we can treat it early or do these types of like
Yeah.
preventative maintenance on your body. And so those are just kind of a few of the ways that um, I can see AI um, helping, particularly from a healthcare perspective. And this is what this announcement from the White House was about, right? This is what this Stargate project, uh, from what I've heard, aims to do.
Yeah. It's big on identifying trends and, like you said, querying medical records at a high volume at an incredibly fast rate, which obviously leads to early detection of all kind of diseases. And I had a friend who is on the verge of being diagnosed with leukemia. So I'm sure, or I hope in the future, somebody could look at the history of imaging of his imaging and be able to detect a lot of those things a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Something else I saw that's have you heard of like Da Vinci surgery, where they're
Da
like
Vinci. It's like a machine is doing this. I don't know if the machine is actually like fully autonomous or if it's
yeah,
at the direction of someone who's kind of controlling it.
yeah, both. I've seen both autonomous and semi-autonomous, where extremely precise, like peeling layers off of a grape. I saw one peeling layers off of a grape. Yeah. So you try to pull a layer off a grape. Let me see how that goes. Um, you're gonna have
Probably
wine
not
at the
well.
end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Epidural is what I was trying to think of. earlier that women get the
Epidural.
shot in the
Yeah.
back, right? So if you got this particular
Okay.
brand of
That's like
epidural, or if you got an epidural, then you're at higher risk for whatever, right? So these are just some of the kind of things that the health records could look at. And we talked previously about, right, if we give them access to it, right? Well, guess whose medical records the government doesn't have to ask for?
oh. Let me guess. Could it be prisoners?
Man, I didn't even think about them, but that is, well, I mean, I think they still have HIPAA rights in prison, but that could potentially be one where they start. I was thinking military
Oh, then yeah, they
service
do have
members. The
access.
the the VA's got it all, right?
Hmm.
And so, and there are ways that you can give. We're going to get into a gray area here where people might come out with their pitchforks, but
I
based on
mean,
what I've said,
we are in the
we're
these next four. Yeah, this is the era for gray area.
we're
Trust me.
already in it, right? So there's a way you can mask PII, personally identifiable information, from
Hmm.
the AI, so that even if we give it data
Hmm.
on, we'll say, service members, it won't know like their date of birth, their name, their address, right? It'll just know like maybe like age, blood type, rank, where they were stationed, how many years they did in service, surgeries, medicines that they were prescribed, different things like that. So you can do that with the data, like mask um,
Yeah, we
certain
do it now.
subsets of the data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of the ETL process. Extract, load, um, extract, transform, load.
Mm-hmm.
When you extract data from the raw source,
Mm-hmm.
you you expect one of the standards is to clean the PI,
Yeah.
or to mask it, or how do I phrase it? Part of
Scrub it. Like,
extracting data is cleaning it,
yeah.
which involves scrubbing the PII.
Yeah. And
So
so,
yeah,
I mean, everybody's data is for sale, right? It's just like who is it being sold to, and like how much of it is being sold, I think is the question. So,
is your
every
data for sale even if you enter the wrong birth date?
yes, they're selling the wrong birth date to whoever. um,
People like they don't have my birthday. They don't know me. Okay.
it's everything is all out there. I think unless you live like fully off the grid, it's got access to everything. I mean, if you got an Alexa, if you got a Google device, if you've got, you know, a smartphone, hell, even a dumb phone. I think I just read. Did you hear about the lawsuit that Apple just settled?
Mm-mm. Concerning what?
Um, it's a privacy
Was
slash like eavesdropping lawsuit. Um, like with Siri always listening, even when and we're not the news, so don't take like everything we say at 1,000% face value. Go do your own research, right? Because I haven't fully looked into this. I just saw the headline, and the headline read, Apple settles $95 million lawsuit, Siri always listening, or something like that. And I say Siri, and she comes alive on my phone. But based on the quick headline that I read, it was essentially saying that like Siri was eavesdropping even when she didn't show that she
I
was
believe that.
active, and so Apple had to pay
Yeah.
$95 million for essentially invading people's privacy. So if they just settled that
Yeah. Not only do
today,
I believe that, I've experienced it.
yeah, yeah. I got somebody beating at my door. It's probably a kid. Hold on. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah. Am I skipping around, Vic?
No, you good. You good.
Okay. Um, so the, the AI's impact on medical innovation is mind blowing, right? And it's just something I encourage people to explore. Something that I've been looking into more is AI's impact on what's the term? I can't think of the exact term for this, but AI's basically they're using machine learning to study and interpret plant and animal communication. I'm trying to think of the exact term for this, but the species they're mostly studying are the bees, ants, coral reefs, or coral reefs rather, and whales. So yeah, they're applying sound therapy because coral reefs in the ocean emit a sound, and they are employing sound therapy to improve the health of the coral reef system. And they're doing this also with bees and ants. So I think we're going to see AI and machine learning all through our normal life a lot more normally or commonly rather. So
Yeah.
I was just talking about how they're using AI and machine learning to study plant and human communication. I'm sorry, plant and animal communication, specifically ants, bees, and coral reefs and
Mm-hmm.
whales. And they've been using sound therapy to improve the health of the coral reef system because coral reefs emit a sound.
Okay.
So they're
Okay.
using sound therapy to improve like a weak coral reef system.
So they're like
Yeah, it's
projecting sound back to the coral leaf to like make it like feel better and like so like
yes,
ambient noise, like sleep sounds, like
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
play some
There's
John Legend or some something soothing for the coral leaf and see if it, makes it feel better. Coral reef
I'm,
and make it feel better.
I'm trying to find the actual term for this, but yeah, it's mind blowing, man. And so everybody's investing in AI.
Hmm.
You're investing, I'm investing, and Americans investing too. So we can before we get into like some of the job opportunities, it's important to note real quick that this was announced before Trump. This was announced, I think, in March, right? So,
Was it an
it,
they didn't announce details though, did they?
well, there wasn't a large press release like this,
Okay.
but
But you did see
we
some.
we know it was announced because they've already started building a long time ago.
Well, just because they announced it, just because they started building doesn't mean they announcement. There's a lot of sneaky buildings that get put up, and we'd be like, "What's that?" Nobody said nothing. Just in there making a few $1 billion under our noses.
That's definitely can be true. So I just Google Stargate, and the first thing that comes up, Elon Musk clashes with OpenAI CEO
Well, they've
over.
been doing that for like a few years, right? So for those
Okay,
who
I
don't,
haven't been in on it. Go
okay,
ahead.
so for those, and again, fact check me, but roughly, Elon Musk was either one of the other founders that also like started OpenAI. Um, but I think the story goes like
No, he wasn't a founder. He bought into it.
he bought
Musk
into it. So
bought
he
into
he
OpenAI.
he
He was
put
not a
some
founder.
money up as an
Yeah.
investor, either an angel investor or an equity investor, and didn't get his equity that he was supposed to have gotten or something of that nature. And
Hmm.
so I believe the founder's name is Sam Altman. Is that right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so him and Sam Altman have like some kind of beef going on between one another. And so again, billionaire beef. I think Elon wants his either. I don't think he wants to share the money. I think he wants board position, some stocks in it, to help him get over that $1 trillion mark,
Hmm.
and to be able to like actually like probably leverage it for all of the other products he's got, like SpaceX, like Tesla, like the little robots that he
Yeah.
got going, and to be able to like
The
control the
robots.
future of what AI does, and ultimately, if they take over the world, he can like program himself and his family like as like safe from being at risk of being taken over, right?
Yeah, I
So yeah,
mean,
there's some billionaire beef going on between those two guys.
yeah. So when I was researching some of this stuff, uh, Dave texted me something that I
Hold
was
on.
unaware of,
Let
and
me
we can.
jump in. I just Googled it, right? And AI says Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and Elon Musk have been in a public feud for years. The two billionaires co-founded OpenAI in 2015, but Musk left the company
Oh,
3 years later. Their dispute centers on
oh,
OpenAI structure and control and whether it's pursuing its original mission of benefiting humanity. So it says he was one of the
okay,
early founders, but he dipped out, and Altman was like, "Nah, bro."
okay. Um,
So
so,
Dave sent you what?
w- so we got that fact check. Cool. We love fact checks here. So he did found it, but he stepped away.
Hmm.
So before we get into like the jobs part, because that's what we like. We like to talk about solutions, right?
Sure.
Um, make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. So when if you were on a bull run, right, they were going up, and so apparently there were seven companies referred to as the Mag Seven, Magnificent Seven. One of them being Tesla. Funny enough, where
Okay.
there was a company that was bankrolling all seven of these companies. Do you know who the company was? We named it earlier.
Oracle,
SoftBank.
SoftBank. Okay. Okay.
So he texted me saying, "Oh, I know SoftBank. They were the ones pouring into the Mag Seven companies and Shopify when it was going on a bull run and COVID." So
Okay.
SoftBank has a legit track record of uh,
Opening up the
bankrolling
budget.
things and open up the budget and making things into reality and making investors feel safe. So that's just something to point out. So the jobs, right? The obvious jobs are like the software jobs, right? Like data
Hmm.
center. I mean, I'm sorry, data science related jobs, right?
Hmm.
Because for those of you who don't know, with AI, let's go back, right? And I'm gonna let the professor probably touch on this. We only have access, we everyday consumers, because the corporations been having access to this for a long time, right? But the reason why we have everyday access to it now is because of the excessive amount of data, right? And so we have all this data. We're trying to do something with it.
Right. Everything
Um,
collects data. Your Apple Watch, your phone, your smart vehicle, your smart washer and dryer, your smart fridge, your thermostat. Like everything is collecting data, right? And so this data was just sitting, right? This data was just hanging out, waiting for somebody to find a good reason to use it and looking for an opportunity to be monetized, essentially, right? And so, sorry to cut you off, Babby. Go
no,
ahead.
you're all right. So with the advent of, well, with the accessibility now of like what they call computation from the
Right,
processing
right.
chips.
So NVIDIA's GPUs are a lot faster, right? Before we didn't have. Hey, Michaela, can you stop that? So before we didn't have microchips, computer chips fast enough to process all of this data and do anything substantive with it, right?
Hmm.
But with the way NVIDIA has been um, creating microchips, and I think we're on our way to like quantum computing and all of these different like super fast processors and chips that are being created. Now, the excessive amounts of data that we have meet the computational power that the microchips have kind of unlocked and enabled for us. And now we're able to actually marry the two together and get outputs from them. And so that's why we kind of see the explosion of OpenAI and ChatGPT and all of these large language models that seem like they just popped up overnight.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful. It's like the Big Bang, right? It's perfect timing. You have computation power, you have availability of data, they meet, and now we're here in this crazy world led by President Trump. So we're going to see where it takes us. So when we talk about the jobs, there's some jobs that handle the data directly, right? Like data scientists, data analysts. But there's also some different kind of jobs that not too many people talk about, right? Like a data center technician, somebody who's hands-on in the data center. Um, so we have data scientists, data analysts, data center tech, uh, cloud engineering, cybersecurity. You want to go through some roles, Victor? Talk about how these roles are going to explode in
I mean,
demand.
you got people like data stewards. Data stewards are responsible for setting the policies of how the data is handled and how it's managed once people get in control of it. And so you can look at that as kind of like governance, risk, and compliance managers if you're working in kind of any other roles. And I don't want to get too deep into the roles today because, of
Right.
course, as we go into the series, we're going to touch on so many other roles. But you've got prompt engineers who are the people who um, type messages to the AI to get it to understand what exactly we're trying to do, how we want it to process the data, and how we want it to output the data to us. And if it doesn't give us the exact output that we're looking for, we give it some additional prompts to help it understand even better what exactly it is we're trying to get it to do. You've got um, man, there
Yeah,
are so many different roles, but go ahead, man.
and we're not even talking about the non-coding roles, just in general. Like I have a friend with a cloud engineering boot camp. So naturally, in order for us to access a lot of this data, a lot of it sits on the cloud. And since it sits on the cloud, guess what? You also need a cloud steward.
Cloud
So you
steward,
have all
cloud
these roles
engineer, cloud, right? All of these people that work usually
hand in
remote,
hand.
yeah, and
Yeah,
hand in hand on these different programs and projects. And then guess what? Once you've got the
cloud
data,
architect.
cloud architect, and then once you've got the data, like you have to have a way to like give it back to the people, right? So now we need uh front end, back end, UI UX developers to develop
Encryption.
um encryption, right? Security folks who are going to develop solutions for how the general public interfaces with this data, right? Doctors aren't going to be AI professionals, right? Doctors are going to need a portal that they can log into, enter their patient information, and get an output that they can understand in a format that they can understand it. And so we need people to build those systems or integrate existing systems, like I think it's called My Chart, with whatever AI system it is that gets created and the data that gets output for that. Right? There needs to be a place in My Chart that these two sync up. So people are creating APIs and people are creating all of these different like ways for these systems to communicate with one another. And there are going to be a plethora of positions. There are going to be a plethora of organizations. I think about again back to like insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies. They're also going to want this data, access to this data. Um, and they're
Yeah,
going to need people within their organization that understand AI to interface with people in other organizations that have that data and have those AI solutions and come up with ways that they can integrate it seamlessly into the products and services that they offer. And so um, there are going to be a tremendous amount of jobs that are created. I think Trump said something like 100,000 jobs were going to be created just off of, and this is like, to my understanding, government positions within Stargate that were going to be created as a direct result of this. This doesn't even talk about the auxiliary or ancillary positions that are going to be created.
yeah, yeah. It's. I think it's gonna be. I don't think we understand. Um, the gravity of it yet. And I don't even mean Stargate specifically. I mean everything that's gonna come from just seeing this level of government support for AI infrastructure. Um, and there's so many other corporations too that are involved in this, like Microsoft too. So I'm very glad that one of my main stockholders.
It's going up.
Yeah,
I heard you say it was going. It went up today.
it's up 6% so far. So yeah, it's on boom.
That's good. That's good.
It's on boom. So
So how do we help people? If you're interested in making a transition, I'm a instructor and founder at a company called Master Tech Training Academy. Bab is also one of our instructors, and we've got several different programs that we offer to help people transition into technology. So you can go to academy.mastertech.com and take a look at some of the career tracks that we've got available and courses that we offer. We've got courses in Azure project management, product ownership, um, data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and we're working on rolling out even more programs and curriculums to help support people who want to make that transition. To date, we've got students, I think over 80 students who have graduated and gotten an offer from a technology company or in a technology role. And the offers that our students have received to date since 2019 is over $28 million in job offers. So our students are doing some amazing things at some organizations that you've definitely heard of and you're definitely familiar with. If you want to speak to an enrollment advisor or a student success counselor, you can text 469-382-5890. You can text AIML if you're interested in our artificial intelligence program. You can text Agile if you're interested in our Azure project management program. You can text data if you're interested in our data analytics program, and someone will get back to you and schedule a time to have a conversation with you and go over the options that are available to you. And even if you don't end up making a decision to enroll in one of our programs, our hope is that you find a position or find a program or find some resources that will help guide you in the right direction so that you can be successful in technology. I encourage you to check out our YouTube page, scrumlife.com, or Your Tech Homeboy on YouTube for content that Bab posts about technology and careers in technology. And I think that's all I got, Bab. What do you got?
yeah, make sure you follow me, your tech homeboy. Make sure you definitely check out the link in the live stream, academy.mastertech. You can text all those words for the different programs to 469 That's 469-382-5890. That's 469-382-5890. Three times Tuesday. We really appreciate y'all for checking in. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we look forward to catching y'all on the flip side.
For sure. And so our next episode should be at least 9 of our 99 non-coding tech jobs that
Yep.
you could be eligible to transitioning into. And so with that, thanks for your time. Looking forward to seeing where this artificial intelligence revolution takes us to, and we'll see you in our next episode. Peace.